Hey, welcome to the first installment of Look What I Found, because I often find some pretty interesting things, like many of you do too, I'm sure, and I want to share some of the more interesting finds with you. So the picture you're looking at is a book that I found recently at a used bookstore. It is from Dark Shadows, Barnabas, Quentin, and the Vampire Beauty. It was number 32 in the series by Marilyn Dan Ross. I say Dan because his real name was Dan Ross. And it was printed in March 1972, which was the first and only printing, I believe. Yeah, it was. And there's some neat things about this book. One is that being the last of the series, not as many were produced because the series had already gone off the air on television, ABC TV. And so this book is harder to find, even in the condition that it is here. I've seen them in bad condition, and this would be fair, going upwards of $50, $60. I paid $10, but not just for this one book. I paid $10, which included 8 more Dark Shadows titles, which I'll maybe look at another time with you. It reminds me of a couple things I'd like to share with you real quick. One is that when I was a kid, a strange child indeed, my mom and dad used to take us kids up to Tawas Lake for summer vacations, sometimes a couple times a year. And I had this briefcase, black briefcase. My brother Bill, I think, actually got it for me. And I would carefully pack all of my Dark Shadows books in it, so I could take them along with me. I don't know if it was like a security blanket or what, but they always made that trip up there with me. And I don't think until I became an adult that I ever really read any of them, though. Dark Shadows, a series on television, ABC TV, which starred, of course, Jonathan Prid, Grayson Hall, David Selby, Joan Bennett, and so many other wonderful actors and actresses. Actually, it ended on my birthday. My birthday is in April 2nd, and the program ended on April 2nd, 1971. It was a really sad birthday for me because I felt like I knew all the characters of the show and like they were all personal friends. Later in life, and I don't have these anymore, unfortunately, my ex-wife Kathy bought for me, I think there were 5 or 6 in the series of books that were hand-signed, autographed to me by Marilyn Dan Ross. And I got to talk to Dan Ross a couple of times on the telephone too, and he was really a fascinating person to talk with. He didn't really want to talk too much about himself. I know he wanted particularly to talk about the name of the town where I lived, because he thought it was really fascinating and that there was something really interesting there. And at the time that was Oscoda or Greenbush, I'm not sure which it was. But anyways, this is Barnabas, Quentin, and the Vampire Beauty, an awesome find.